evening, my little mold spores, and welcome to another evening with Dante Nightly's nightly bedtime stories, thoughts, and poems. Tonight's story is called Headaches. He felt funny all week, fatigued, queasy. His balance would betray him, and he would suddenly hit the floor. Or he would find himself at the bottom of a flight of stairs, not remembering the fall at all. And sometimes he would come to in the middle of the forest. He had seen several physicians, but none could identify the cause. It was speculated that his loss of balance was an indication of an offset equilibrium, easily cured with a pill, but the walking about with no recollection was indeed a mystery. And the forest. Why did he always wind up in the forest? These periods of no recollections that the doctors like to call episodes were becoming more and more frequent. The last episode found him eating an exorbitant amount of mushrooms off a massive dead tree in the middle of that forest. He didn't even like mushrooms, and these turned his teeth, tongue, and mouth black. He wandered home confused and weak. That night was a restless night indeed, for his dreams were truly terrifying. Dreams of being trapped in a dark enclosed space, so cramped that he could not breathe. He jolted out of these nightmares, reaching for the ceiling and gasping for air. He was relieved to find himself in his own bed, but a torturous headache quickly consumed him. He lost his vision out of his right eye. A violent wave of nausea overtook him. He tried, but could not make it to the toilet, and vomited black sludge all over the floor. It smelled like rot and disease, but at least the headache faded, and he was oh so grateful. He fumbled to the restroom. He could hardly stand, so he drew himself a bath. The cold water felt heavenly against his fevered skin so sensitive it hurt to towel off. He looked into the mirror to find that his vomiting was so violent that he had burst blood vessels around his eyes. Vessels in his right eye had ruptured as well, leaving the white of the eye blood red. His once green eye was now gray and dead. Something was very, very wrong. He turned to rush himself to hospital, but his balance failed him once again, and he tumbled, cracking his head on the cold tile of the bathroom floor. It was a hiker that found him. They had followed a trail of thick black paste that had veered off the path through the woods. Simple curiosity was the only reason he was found at all. The horror that lay before them was overshadowed by disbelief. They wanted to turn and run, but morbid curiosity would not allow it. They had never seen a real dead body before. Mother Nature is very unkind to corpses, especially ones left out in the forest during a strong rain. The corpse was seated, leaning against the base of a massive dead tree. The hiker couldn't tell how long it had been there, and they were surprised that no other animals had helped themselves to such an easy meal. They soon discovered why. Something had torn its way out of the head. It was violently burst wide open, leaving black sludge spilling into the lap and seeping into the ground. With their eyes, they followed the sludge from the corpse back to where they were standing and realized they had stepped in it. Lucky for them, the sludge was harmless. However, not so lucky for them. They were standing in the middle of the mushroom sporing ground, and it was too late. The spores had already made their way in through the nostrils, and at that moment were boring their way into the hiker's brain. And thus, the cycle of life repeats itself. Good night, and sweet screams.